Hello, this is Truth in Motion, and this is my very first episode. I am Kate Janos. I've never recorded a podcast before, so here we are. Real start, real voice, no dramatic entrance music, at least not yet, and honestly, that feels right. English is also not my first language, so bear with me. I'm recording this today on purpose because today is Friday the 13th. And to me, this is not an unlucky day. It's a meaningful one, a powerful one, and a misunderstood one. And I want to talk about it. Why? You probably heard Friday the 13th framed as superstition, bad luck, something to be cautious about. I see it differently. I see it as remembrance and rising. That is both something sacred. Long before it was turned into something to fear, this day was connected to the feminine, to earth, to the body, to intuition, cycles, renewal, and unconditional love that sustains and protects life, all life. In older earth-based traditions, feminine wisdom was not treated as decorative or secondary. It was central, it was embodied, and necessary for balance. And the number 13 itself was never originally a bad number. It followed living rhythm. There are 13 full moons in a year, for example, approximately, but the number comes to almost 13. You can see repeating spiral and petal patterns in nature that land on 13. Timing in nature is not random. It breathes. It cycles. Also, small personal note, numbers have always carried meaning and pattern for me. Not in a rigid way, more like signals, landmarks, turning points. 13 always felt like change energy, letting go and beginning again. So not doom, more like a reset. In tarot, for example, card number 13 is death. And that means transformation. Ending of one phase so another can begin. Honestly, it's one of the most misunderstood cards. And maybe that tracks with this day. Astrologically, another example, even the moon's actual path crosses 13 constellation zone. Not just the neat 12 sign system most people know, which is another reminder that really, reality is often richer and messier than the simplified version we've been handed, we've been given some time ago. More on that maybe later. Friday itself carries feminine lineage because in Norse traditions, it was connecting to Freya and Frigg, goddesses of love, fertility, sensuality, magic, blessings, deep intuitive knowing. Roman lineage connects Friday to Venus. Love, beauty, relational intelligence, devotion, the force that forms and tends connections, bonds. It's different cultures, but it's the same thread. Now, here's the part that matters historically, for me at least. A lot of feminine and earth-rooted spiritual knowledge was suppressed, ritual knowledge, plant medicine, lunar rites, embodied mysticism, community healers, seers, midwives, and even the women later labeled witches. Before distortion, many of them were healers and knowledge keepers. But because their wisdom lived outside institutional control, they were persecuted. What was once sacred was reframed as dangerous. It didn't disappear, however. It went quiet, and it survived through symbol, song, story, dance, body memory. And honestly, humanity has a long track record of misunderstanding what it later rediscovers and calls brilliant. We seem to be consistent like that. Sound and music belong to this remembering too. Before teachings were written, they were sung, drummed, chanted, danced. Sound moves through the body differently than words, and it regulates, it connects, it opens. Music is medicine, and also joy, and also sometimes exactly what keeps us sane. Very technical spiritual definition here. Keeps us sane. The feminine principle itself is not about gender. It's a human capacity, the ability to feel, to relate, to create, sense, protect life, stay connected to truth and the body. It's also not neat or polished. It's emotional, sensitive, messy at times, soft and fierce, grieving and loving, intuitive and direct, alive. And that, all of that, is intelligence, never a flaw. When this principle is removed from any system, things become empty. They are fast, but they are not caring. Scalable, but not human. We can see that strain everywhere right now. At the same time, we all know that things are shifting. Change is happening. A correction is happening. There's more embodiment, more relational awareness, more people listening inward instead of only outward. Even technology, yes, AI, can become part of awakening when guided by human values instead of replacing them. Tools are not the enemy. This connection is. We're in a moment where consciousness is waking up through many channels at once. Body, relationship, earth awareness, symbolism, pattern, all the pattern recognitions, inner truth. Polarity exists. Opposites exist. But we don't have to get trapped inside extremes. When we meet reality as it is, without denial and without clinging, clarity appears. Movement becomes possible. So, what does honoring the feminine actually look like in real life? It's a practice, daily. Listening when your body says slow down. Telling the truth about how you actually feel. Resting before collapse. Moving your body. Dancing, walking, stretching. Whatever feels good for you to feel, not to impress. Choosing connection over control. Staying with emotion instead of numbing it. Offering kindness, deeply needed everywhere right now. These are simple, not always easy, but simple. Friday the 13th to me is also a remembrance day, a reclamation day, a rhythm day. And yes, I'm honoring it through dance today, through movement, through how I show up. That's my way of living in real time. Yours may look completely different, and that's exactly the point. In all honesty, if Superstition had a PR department, it would be very upset with this episode, I think. This is the beginning of Truth in Motion. We'll talk more about cycles, consciousness, symbolism, healing, paradox, embodiment, much more meaning. And we'll also laugh. Because if we lose humor, we lose oxygen. Thank you for being here at the beginning with me. Keep your feet on earth. Keep your inner signal on. I'll speak with you again soon.